greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the
Look, I'm talking, I'm even muted. I fucked that whole shit up. I played the outro instead of the intro. I fucking was muted. Oh my god, cause I was trying to tweet it out at the same time. Man. Oh, some Gary Payton, brother.
Gary Payton knocked you out, huh?
Yeah, the sponsor today is Gary Payton. Indica strain. Don't know the details on it. Don't care. It just made me high. That's all that matters. What's up, Damian Con Scott? How you doing? Tony Robinson, Lonely Banter. What's up, brother? I send you the link if you want to come in. Let me know.
What's good,
you already know what we're going to talk about. Basil's in the house. Drop Shop is in the house. Poe is in the house. What up, Poe? Glad you guys can make it.
What up?
Danny Graham will be popping in just now. Dwayne said he would be coming. I sent him the link, so we'll see. Let me text him real quick. Let him know I sent him the link on Facebook. But other than that, how you doing, brother?
I am high, yo.
Huh?
It's working.
yeah. We can hear you.
My shit tonight is brought to you by. I'm in like slow motion tonight, like gravitational buzz. I got this shit called Gas Daddy. It's purple, Nzo.
Oh, yeah?
It's fucking purple. The shit some pieces fell in my sink and started leaving like purple streaks down my sink, man. I'm like, what the?
Really?
What? Yeah, man. What's up, Danny?
What's up, Roberto? What's going on with you, bro?
Indica?
You know what? I'm going to have to research it because, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm going to have to check that out. Maybe I'll have to holler at you sometime this week and be like, yo, be some of that purple shit. Test it out. Man. Slow motion for me. What up, Chillmonger? How you doing, man? Glad you guys could pop in. You guys seeing the title. You know the title. You know what the topic is today. You guys see it. You know what I mean? So, hey, Donnie sent it to us, right? He sent the link, and Roberto was just going off. So I'm expecting Roberto to fucking light this shit up because I'm going to light this shit up as well. Hands down. We're going to fucking wreck this shit. And I got other few things that I want to pop up there tonight and show you. So, yeah, we can get right into it, brother. Buffalo shooting.
Everybody saw how that gentleman got arrested, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone saw that. Gentleman. Mm-hmm. I call him gentleman because that's the way they treated him, like a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And just the show before, we were talking about that man who had his hands up with no weapon. I thought he was getting tasered. No, he was getting shot. He was lying on the ground with his hands up, still getting shot. And a man who licks down 10 people cold blood gets arrested. I saw a skit today with this guy. I don't know his name, but it was a white guy. And he's telling people about white privilege. Did you see that skit?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to play it.
I'll send it to you.
I say no more. Oh, yeah, it was you, eh? Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, Danny, I'm going to play it. I had it.
Danny assisted a lot on this. I won't lie. I won't say he assisted. He sent us material that us Canadians freaked out on. And, you know, we thought we used it.
One Nzo sent this morning was even... It showed white Canadian officers shooting a white Canadian man several times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to show that one too. Don't worry.
We don't want to celebrate that, but at the same time,
I was like,
these mofos are, except Danny.
Hey, listen, man. Like you said, Roberto, we fucking showed. It wasn't just that one. It's the one the week before too, right? Even though we both said that the black dude was acting kind of shady, he didn't deserve
He
to
did not
get
deserve
shot.
to die. Did not deserve to die.
Last week, the fucking dude had a hat in his hand, and they fucking rinsed shot on him. Okay, now if this dude was black, because they said the dude put the gun to his head to kill himself, right? Was going to kill himself. Cops talked him down. The minute a black man would have raised the gun up, they would have rinsed bullets in his fucking chest.
If anything,
there's no doubt about it.
They found out he was
no doubt about it.
In full fatigue. They just sent the robot in. I'm telling you, man.
No doubt about it. Then I see a post on Twitter, right? And the parents blamed it on COVID.
Whose parents? His parents?
Yes. Yes. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that. Go ahead, Donnie. What do you think? Okay, you laughing over there. What do you think?
Can I play devil's advocate for 1 minute?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I want to put this disclaimer out there. I am totally aware that the perception and the reality is that we as black people are getting killed at an alarming rate by law enforcement who are supposed to be sworn to protect. I will put that disclaimer out there. But I will also say that I'm going to use this as an example. It's not going to be an equal example, but it's going to be an example. If you go to a fine dining restaurant and you know that you're going to wear a shirt and tie, or you're not going to get in there, no matter how famous you are, how rich you are, whatever, you're going to have a shirt and tie. You know, if you go into that place, you're going to have a shirt and tie. We as black people, and I'm not saying that's right at all, and particularly people that look like us, our same gender, we know, and we got to have conversations with our sons. Look, you go above and beyond transparency if you get stopped because of what we've seen and what they are. So if you go out there and you don't do the extreme measures, I'm not saying you're asking for it. I'm not saying you deserve to get killed, but you know right now that this is a hot topic and a situation that if you don't be extremely transparent and it's moving slow, cut your hands up and everything else, what might happen? Now, I'm saying again, I am not condoning anything that I saw, but at the same time, if you know you went into a hostile environment or there's certain precautions you have to take. If you're going fishing, you got to have a life jacket, certain whistles, stuff that go on the boat. If you're going hunting, you got to dress a certain way. If you go to a restaurant, you got to do a certain thing. If you go into whatever situation, there's certain precautions that you got to take care of.
Precautions apply to these precautions apply to everybody, Danny. The precaution you're giving now is only to black people. So when is that shit gonna fucking stop? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's fair. Like I said,
I know I'm not turning it on you. I'm just going off of what you're saying. These precautions are valid.
Yeah, you would be a fool to be a father now, a black father, and not have a conversation with your son. You'd be a fool.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's fair. But people that look opposite of us don't have to have. I have two, and y'all done seen them. I have two Caucasian grandsons. I'm not going to have that conversation with them. I'm thankful because I love them. But my son, he's 27. Yeah, hey, bro, don't act a donkey. You let the situation go. You get home, then you call me. Then I can do something from there.
I agree with you 100%. I just think it's fucked up that we actually have to have a different conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why should we have to have that conversation? Why should we have to be like, oh, you better be careful or else you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to kill you.
Well, there was always something if you really think about it because, they tell you if you want to make the team, you have to try that much harder. If you want to get into that place, you have to do that much more. It's always that much. You always have to do something. This is why this white privilege gets thrown out there because growing up, I never heard of white privilege. Everyone got treated the same. And all of a sudden, it just became like out of control. Out of control.
I agree with you 100%. Let me try and find that video that Danny sent real quick.
Talking about the Twitter when the guy talking about white privilege?
The white dude, yeah. Yeah, because I actually was following that dude, because if you go watch his stuff, he has a lot of videos where he's talking about things like, black people and white people and this and that and stuff like that. So I actually watched him. There it is. Okay, hold on. Let me just put it on my PC so that I can share it with you guys. Give me 1 second. Here we go. There's that one that I wanted to show. This and this. Okay. Yeah, man. But so what do you think about the way they handled the situation, Danny? Like what me and Roberto were saying, if it was one of us, we'd be dead.
You talking about the Buffalo situation?
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I mean, a lot of times officers handle things. I know there is and I'm speaking from the blue side now, not the black side, but there's a hesitation now, and there is a belief that, and there's a second guessing that in some instances it could cost you your life. That I can't do this, or I better not do this, or if I do what I did X amount of years ago, then I'm gonna lose my career. I can say firsthand practices that were done 10, 15 years ago will get you fired now. So I think a lot of officers are being very what's the word I want to use? When they know the camera's on, they are by the book. There's a time when the cameras wouldn't be on, then that's when you get. I've seen some stuff. I'll just leave it at that. Still, the body cameras, in my opinion, are a definite plus because it holds the officer accountable and it shows transparency to why they treat this particular guy so nice. I don't know. I can tell you why, because they caught him when the cameras was on, so they couldn't. But why is the other way around when the races are mixed? I don't know. Or change? I can't answer that. I really don't. I think it's jacked up, but I don't have a rational answer to that other than what the obvious thing is. It's just racism.
Absolutely. So there was this video Danny sent this on TikTok, and like I said, I've been following this guy. So listen to what he has to say, and then I'm going to show another one, another TikTok video.
So here you have a white boy who just killed 10 fucking people, and not a scratch on him, not shot at, not pushed to the ground, not punched, not kicked, not treated like fucking shit. Nothing. This is clear fucking white privilege, and black people can't even sleep in their own goddamn fucking homes without being shot at by the fucking police. White people, you need to fucking admit that you got fucking white privilege. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. We are, as white people, protected by the goddamn fucking system, and I know you don't want to fucking change it. That's why you don't speak on it, but I don't give a fuck. My name's Eric Stone, because it's fucking true. Do it.
And he's speaking 100% facts though. Like, honest to God, he's speaking facts. Fucking Sandra Bland, George Floyd, Eric Gardner. None of these guys had weapons, right? But you have the fucking dude who shot up the black church. They took his ass to Burger King. And you better believe
Burger King, yeah.
And you better believe this motherfucker here probably got some Burger King as well. I'm telling you, that's right. You know why? Because they don't give a fuck. They probably looked at this dude and said, "Good fucking job." You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right, Donna. What up, Dwayne? I sent you the link. It's on Facebook, brother. Go check it out, man. Go check it out. Pick it up. Pop in. But that's what I'm saying. They gave this fucking man. Danny, honestly, you're laughing. You don't think he got Burger King?
Man, I can't answer that, bro. I don't know.
Roberto, you don't think he got Burger King?
Either that or McDonald's.
Oh my God.
Bro,
he got something because one of the cops had his hand on his shoulder like they were going to take a picture.
It probably was.
You know what I mean?
It probably was. And this is the thing. Right? This guy, like they said, They said he took his gun and raised it to his head to kill himself. What do you think would have happened if a black man just even twitched? Just twitched. You know what I mean? Maybe he had to scratch his ass. The minute the black man made a move, they would have put bullets in him right away. It's
and if
just
he had a gun, I feared for my life. I feared for my life. No, if the black guy had the gun, we're talking about an unarmed black man. If he sneezed,
right?
Cheddar.
No. Well, I was talking about if he had the gun. Let's say it's same.
If he had the gun, I fear for my life. I fear for my life. Even a fucking helicopter be dropping shit on him.
Let me ask you guys this, right? Because and the guy brings up white privilege and all that shit, right? When do you ever hear of any fucking black man grabbing a fucking big ass fucking AK-47 or any type of assault rifle and running into a place killing white people?
I don't know if that guy on the New York subway was trying to kill white people, but he did it.
He was killing people, though. I don't think he was killing white people.
No.
Wasn't the guy in the van, him and son, weren't they black?
Who?
The DC guy, sniper, was killing, had the van and was killing people.
Yeah, but they were killing everybody. They weren't just
everybody.
People. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, this guy, literally, they said he almost shot at a white person and said sorry. You understand? So he was there to strictly fucking kill niggers. I'm gonna say the word. That's right. He was there strictly to kill us. That's it. But yeah, you don't see us doing that. You see us doing it? Why is it that they always fucking doing it to us? Because they don't give a shit, bro. We are not fucking humans in some of these people's eyes. We're just not. It's fucked up to say, but we're not. You know what? Yeah.
On every level.
Mm-hmm.
On every level. 100%. Even the wealthy. When the wealthy are hanging amongst the opposite wealthy, they're looking at them saying, they really think they're here with us? You could just you feel it. Even if it's not there, you feel it because it's just been going on for so long.
Bro, the richest fucking woman in the world, Oprah, walked into a store and they kicked. Who doesn't know who the fuck Oprah is? And you kicked her out of the store. You know what I mean? Who doesn't know who Oprah is? But you want Oprah to leave the store because you think she can't afford what's in the fucking store.
Are you going to play that other video that we saw? I don't want to throw somebody under the bus for providing us all this police information, but you know that other video with the black sergeant driving and he gets pulled over? That one was like the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm. Didn't I show that video? We did that video a few weeks ago, no?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
The black sergeant were they at the gas station?
No, this is not the gas station. This is another one.
Okay. Danny sent it?
Well, I didn't want to throw him out there, but yeah, Danny sent it.
Oh. My bad. I mean, Chris Knight sent it. Yeah, Chris
yeah, everybody believes it's Chris Knight, right?
Don't be calling my name.
She ain't Jamaican.
You know, right? So here's another one. All right, and I want to play this video too. Now I know she tries to be funny in some things. I don't find them funny, but you gotta listen to what she say because I think she's speaking pretty much facts.
Earlier this month, a man named Patrick Leo was shot and killed by a police officer after he was pulled over for allegedly driving with an unregistered license plate. He ran, the police chased him, there was a struggle, and an officer shot the unarmed man in the back of the head while he was face down on the ground. It's hard to even say that out loud. Now, when we hear that story, most of us ask, what is wrong with our country when an unregistered license plate gets you the death penalty? But there's another question out there, one that gets asked a lot after police shootings. Why didn't he just comply? So tonight, let's talk about that in a segment called How Did We Get Here? Police shootings are one of those things you need to talk about even though you don't really want to, like prostate health or the fact that Mamma Mia is really just a musical episode of Maury. White privilege is having 3 men who might be your baby daddy and still somehow getting played by Meryl Streep. So, tonight, we're not going to go into the details of the latest horrific police shooting. Instead, we'll step back and talk about a bigger question. Why don't Black people just comply with the police? Now, there are a million reasons why a person might not comply in any given situation, but we are only going to focus on 2, okay? The first is easy. When Black people encounter the police, they're often terrified. If you're a Black person in America, you've seen a million viral videos of Black people being murdered by the police. So when you see the police, even if you've done nothing wrong, you can feel like you are in danger.
What's good, King?
When you're in danger, you want to get out of danger, which is why running can seem like a good option.
Kings.
Now, it can be hard for some white people to understand being scared of cops. Maybe in your life, the police have always been there to help you, and it's hard to believe that that's not true for everyone. It's like finding out that the life jacket you use to keep you afloat is actually a lead vest when put on someone else. And for Black people, the different treatment by police isn't just perception, it's reality. Findings from New York City's stop and frisk data shows that compared to white residents, Black residents are 17% more likely to experience police use of hands, 18% more likely to be pushed into walls or the ground, 24% more likely to have a weapon pointed at them, and 25% more likely to be pepper sprayed or hit by a baton. So it makes perfect sense that Black people are fearful of police. And you act irrationally when you think something is going to cause you pain. It's the same reason I scream every time I see a hot comb. Ah, my ear! And it gets worse. According to a 2019 study, Black men are more than 3 times more likely to be killed by police over the course of their lifetime than white men. So when a Black man gets stopped by police and runs, that's actually pretty rational. But if it's still hard for white people to understand, here's another way to think about it. What if Black people react to police the same way white people react to Black people?
For real.
Studies have repeatedly shown that white people perceive Black people as more violent and more likely to commit crimes, even though that's not true. In one study where white participants were shown a slideshow of random people's faces, Black males were seen as more threatening than white males, which is horrible. The only time looking at a face should be threatening is when you come across a coworker on Hinge. Do you swipe right to be nice? Do you swipe left to make it less awkward? Neither. You quit your job and you leave the country. But the racism doesn't stop at faces. A University of Wisconsin study found that when people consider how dangerous a neighborhood is, they don't base it on the crime rate. They base it on how much of the population is young Black men. That's right. If there are young Black men, then it is automatically dangerous, which is insane. If that were accurate, the scariest place in America would have been the set of a different world. And hey, feelings are just feelings, except for one tiny thing. When white people feel like they're in danger, they call the police, those very same police who are killing Black men at over 3 times the rate of white men. White people love calling the cops so much you would think they'd have a punch card where the 10th call gets them a free sandwich. And let's be honest, maybe there is a certain kind of white person that just likes to stir things up. Who am I thinking of? Sophie. Girl, you invited all 3 dads to a weird island when you could have just sent them an email and you didn't even tell your mom? Girl, you don't want a wedding. You want...
They're trying to be funny, but
now,
I guess
it's important to note that white people don't call the police on everyone. One study of a mostly white community in Austin, Texas, found that when residents saw a suspicious person who was Black, they called the police 60% of the time, and only 10% of the time when they were white. Basically, white people decide Black people are dangerous, so they call the cops. Black people understand the inherent danger of interacting with cops, so they freak out. And when they freak out, the cops decide they're dangerous. It's a cycle of fear that keeps leading back to Black people
I've got
getting
so
killed.
much to
But
say.
all this is just part of the
Depending where this
reason why a Black
conversation
person might
goes.
not comply.
oh, you got it.
The
That's what
second
we're
part
here
of that
for.
is complying doesn't guarantee your safety. Since 2015, 625 Black people were running away from the police when they were shot and killed, which is terrifying. But even scarier, 875 of them weren't. The fact is, sometimes running away gets you killed, and sometimes staying still also gets you killed. Now,
Facts.
I'm a Black lady who grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I do not have the time to tell you about all my police run-ins. Wait, maybe I do.
Stop it. Stop
Those
it.
motherfuckers have pulled a gun on me multiple times. A gun. On this. So the next time someone asks why black people don't just comply with the police, feel free to tell them exactly how we got here.
Oh my gosh.
Dwayne is up in the house. What's up, brother? It's good to see you.
King? It's always good to be seen. What's going on, King Roberto? What's going on, Batman?
The day.
What's up?
Okay. Man.
Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts are, yeah, she's speaking some real truth. And the easy thing for people to say is, well, if you just did what the police told you, everything would be okay. But people forget that the US, right? Let's just look at the US because that's where that's based. It's based on the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has inalienable rights to live, move freely, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, so many different things. But because we as a people don't really know that, coupled with the fact that police, they're they're under law, they're able to lie. They are able to lie to someone, and then as soon as you talk, everybody hears this. Um, Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Believe that shit. So if the police that are talking to you are able to lie to get you to say certain things, anything that you say will be used against you. But you could use one of your constitutional rights to remain silent, and all of a sudden you have a problem.
Hmm?
You know, there's so many times that you know I listen. I've seen people comply. They listen to what people say. They listen to what the police say and still end up dead just
Yeah.
because of how someone looks. Just because of that. And what people forget is that that badge that people wear, okay, I don't know who's in here, who's listening. The badge that that police wear, it's a slave catching badge. Do your research. That's what it's about. And it's about control. Oh my gosh. And then
Mm-hmm.
they're able to get away with it because based on the old laws, right? Way back in the days when they were slave catching, people died, people died. Right? Because they already had a system that protected them, right? And that now you have police out there doing these things. I'm not saying that all police officers are bad. I'm not saying that, but some of them are real bad. And the ones that are even worse are the ones that are real bad are the ones that watch those ones that are real bad. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And when people end up dying, all of a sudden people don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's dead, but people don't know. Oh, well, he should have listened. Why? I have
That's
a
the
con.
thing. They always make some kind of bullshit fucking excuse for the reason why the person died. George Floyd was on drugs. Sandra Bland was on weed. You know what I mean? Hey, man, three of us on this panel been burning since for a minute. You ever seen anyone fucking die from smoking weed?
Yo, King, you said it best. These people are traveling into neighborhoods for like neighborhoods that if you don't like them, why are you going there?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going there? But
It's
then
fucking.
you go there, right? Like it's like let's go catch a nigga. Let's go find a nigga. Let's go lynch somebody because
Mm-hmm.
that's what they used to do back in the day, and it was legal back then
Mm-hmm.
because they used to ride around in hoods. So this
Yeah.
man is moving around, no hood, telling you what his deal is, and people are like, "Oh no, he's not like that. It's mental illness." Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. I hear people actually talking about how like it wasn't racially motivated what he did.
He
I'm
wrote
like,
it
are you
down,
fucking
King.
kidding me?
He wrote. So wait, hold up. So now we still got to believe that the things that he wrote down, 189 pages of whatever he wrote, himself, we're
Hmm.
supposed to deny that?
Mental issues. That's what it
Okay.
is.
You want me to
Yeah,
tell you something? I
that's
know
cop
a
out.
ton of people with mental
Hmm.
issues, but guess what? Do you ever see them walk across the street against a green light?
That's what I'm saying. You ever see a fucking black man grab a fucking AK-47 and run out to the store and kill fucking white people? You know what I mean? We
You
don't do
know,
that.
because we have the slave catching mentality. There's no way we even gonna try to do that. And
You know,
what?
right? You know why? Because we wouldn't get it fucking past the front doors with the fucking rifle. You
You
know
know
what I
what?
mean?
You might get in the front door, but as soon as you walk in, somebody walking in behind you with like 4 and 5 AKs. Like, yo, what's going on in here?
Facts. 100% facts, man. Yo, there's this fucking thing on YouTube, right? And I keep trying to find it. I can't find it no more. But they did this experiment. It was a white dude and a black dude. Same neighborhood, same street. White dude was walking down. It was a,
Rifle,
free
rifle. I have
yeah.
it. I
You,
have
you
it.
seen it, right? Walking with the
Mm,
rifle. Cop pulls up to him, asking him questions. Hey, what you doing? Blah blah. Oh no, I got my license. Blah blah. The black man did it, and they came out with guns blazing. Freeze! Don't move! What are you doing? And I was first off, I was like, whoever talked this fucking black dude into doing that could probably sell fucking ice to an Eskimo. Because there is no fucking way you're gonna say, "Hey, you want to do an experiment? We're gonna walk down the
no,
street, same
but
street. I'm
I
gonna
can
carry."
I can tell you why they did the experiment, right? As an American citizen, right? And I know you kill me with that on the side. Oh, you're American now. Da 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 da.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Right? Yeah, stop your stupidness, right?
We know that.
But constitutionally, you have the right to bear arms,
Yeah, absolutely.
and constitutionally, you do not have to identify yourself in certain states because they feel uncomfortable because you're exercising your Second Amendment right to bear arms, right?
Mhm.
And when that happens, it's just like voting nowadays. Black people are too dumb and stupid to vote Donald Trump out of office. That's a different conversation. So that also means black people are too dumb and stupid to even have a gun license. So whenever they walk around, let's just approach them like it's dangerous. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Paul said, "Hey, if I was racist, I would be a police officer. Perfect job. Not all police are bad. I know tons of great ones. So do we. We know a couple great ones too. And others have bad days as being human beings. But if I wanted to get away with stuff, it would be, yeah, I agree with you. But then again, too, I see now that they are cracking down, which is good, right? Because I was watching Alvin preach. They did this whole thing on the sheriff. He did a press conference and
Yo,
he
I love
literally
that
said,
guy.
"You
I
saw
love
that
that
one, right?"
guy. I love him, dog. He just tells you the raw deal, B. See,
Yeah, he
with the
did.
street police man that was dealing certain things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh
right,
man,
right.
great.
Now, it was a fucking shitty reason why, because of like $700 went missing and blah blah. But the fact that they did wrong, he said they were wrong. They had to be held accountable, and they were all put in jail. Right. So I'm like, okay. So there's changes that can be done. There's people out there that care, but there has to be more of it. That's the problem. There's not. You know what I mean? And like I said many times, if this dude was one of us, we'd be having a different story right now. We wouldn't be talking about him, getting arrested calmly. Roberto, you've been quiet. Say something, man.
I'm defending my fellow friend down below me here.
Mm-hmm,
I'm just quiet with Daddy, listening.
Wait,
mm-hmm.
Batman's police though?
Yeah,
Well, hey man, I'm
Since
trying.
hence why, I mean, like if you look at the private chat, trying to keep it.
Yeah, I get it, man. And hey, no disrespect. I get people do what they do, but sometimes, right? If police can look at a group of people and say, just based on certain movements and things, they make a judgment call. Why is it so different when we do the same thing to them? And it's also based on experience. It's also based on the exact same things, right? Because we all come from, well, with the exception of Batman, we all come from the same place. We all know what the phone book is like. We all know, you know what I'm saying? When people do things to you because they can, not because they have to, just because they can. And it's back then it was your word against theirs. Now we have these
Camera.
devices that could show certain things. And if we go way back to Rodney King, come on, even they got off,
Yeah.
right? And that's almost a generation ago. And still, the same mentality persists, right? If someone looks suspicious, then all of a sudden, it's okay for somebody to accost them. And all of a sudden, something that shouldn't happen all of a sudden happens. And then now you have a different situation that you're dealing with. And then
But
we're
back
talking.
in the day, it used to be beatings. Like look at Rodney King, not Rodney King. Yeah, Rodney King. He got a
Yeah.
beating, batons, bang, 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 bang. You heal from that. Listen, he got a beating he didn't deserve, but he healed from it. And back in the day, brothers would be getting beat downs, but you heal from it. All of a
King.
sudden, it's murder. There's no healing from murder.
But
I feel like
King.
now it's worse than it's ever been, yo. Because
But
back it was fire hose. Okay, the occasional hanging, but
Right.
that wasn't 5-0. That was the KKK. I'm talking 5-0 doing damage. Now is an all-time worse, yo.
I
And
get you,
that's
King. But remember, Rodney King died from an overdose. So yeah, you may heal physically, but mentally you're fucked because the exact same people that beat you are the ones that are still free. They all were like, nah, right? They all were not guilty, right?
right.
So
But
the
let's be
mental
fair.
part.
Can you really blame like Rodney King's drug use on what happened? Because I'm pretty sure he was
Yes,
doing drugs before it happened,
it
bro.
doesn't matter.
You know what I
No,
mean?
no, 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 no. Of course it
I
matters,
get
man.
it,
Come on.
but
Yeah, yeah,
If
he was
if
doing
he
drugs
took it
before it
up
happened, bro.
after, and like he wasn't the same. This man was smiling after, knowing that he was gonna get some pay out of this shit.
Yeah,
He went down to the local, and hooked me up,
yeah,
bruh. I could get all kinds today. Who's with me? Who's down in the park?
What do you
Whatever
get? Like
happened, happened,
fucking,
right?
what do you
man,
get?
I'm
Like
about to
$13
turn my
million?
camera on so I can look at y'all,
Listen,
motherfuckers.
whatever
No,
happened,
it's
happened,
true
right?
though,
Really?
right?
Like
Yeah.
really? Really? That's what y'all giggling at? Yeah, you know what? It is kind of funny when you
But
think
it's
about it.
true though. That's what happened. Yo,
But come on, man.
I can guarantee you, the man was when he heard how much money he was getting, he was like, "Yo, I'm
All
getting
right.
fucking high
You
tonight,"
let me I'll tell you something real.
because I
Okay?
would.
Real. Remember Abner Luima?
No.
Okay, right? I don't know if Batman knows who I'm talking about, but that was a situation where, again, I was in Brooklyn and police picked him up, and somebody decided to take the back end of a plunger and violate this man. You remember that story? Anybody? No?
No, I don't.
All right. This man, right? He ended up settling for 7 mil, moved to Florida and all of this. But the police officer that did that got off.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They get off. You know what I mean? That's the problem. That's why it keeps happening, is because there's no consequences. I can't say no anymore because George Floyd, there were consequences in that one,
But not
but that was a
enough.
big right. This
Not
is the thing.
enough.
That was a big case. They had to do something because they would have fucking rioted like crazy if them cops had got off. Hands down. There's no doubt about it. Because we watched this guy's life get taken away from him on fucking 4K video. You know what I mean? So they would have rioted. So they needed to do something to save face. So that's what I call it, you know? LB,
What?
what's going on, brother?
What up, LB?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening. Good
evening.
evening. What like the thing about the whole George Floyd thing and everything else is that people are becoming aware that police aren't above the law, and police need to have reasonable, articulable suspicion in order to do certain things, right? And not because people look a certain way or moving a certain way means that they're committing a crime. But sometimes, if you don't really understand what that means, you can't really articulate to someone who's about to violate your rights that you're about to lose your qualified immunity if you continue down this path. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that we need to educate our people on because we have rights just like everybody else. It's just that police decide to move a certain way in communities where they think people don't really know the law, right? Because if you're a police officer, you're supposed to know the law because you're law enforcement. You can't just be guessing your way through shit and then you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't work that way. And the more people that look like us understand that, it's going to be a lot more challenging for these people that are really, really trying to, deal with us a certain way.
LB, thoughts?
On the shooting.
Anything that we'll be talking about? You watching? Yeah, go ahead.
So let me just say that video you played of the comedian, I just got to say, white people definitely wrote those jokes.
Yeah, for real though, because they weren't funny at all. I agree.
I'm just like, man, like you could have just kept the jokes out, man. We would
absolutely 100%. That's why I said when I watched it, I was like, yeah, she's trying to be funny, but it's not. But everything else she was saying, she was pretty much on point. You know what I mean? Poe said, well, to be honest, we don't know those cops are really in prison for murder of George. I mean, I want to see everyday pics. LOL. I'm half white and they be lying. I feel you, Poe. They could be at home arrest. We never know. You know what I mean? But yeah, your thoughts on the shooting and everything else we've been talking about, LB. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. The shootings just. I mean, I hate to say it, but like the reaction expected. You know, it's sad this keeps happening. It sucks that it's kind of like died out already. People done moved on. I wish we could come up with real solutions or have actual discussions of what can be done to stop this. But it's like
facts.
Like over here we're having this discussion, right? But over there, they're like they won't talk about everything else. They don't want to have these discussions. They just want to keep status quo, and it's a real shame, man. And I mean, a lot of people they keep mentioning. You remember when what was it? The kids is Sandy Hook, right?
Yeah.
It was like if if that happens and they don't do anything, nothing will happen. So, like I guess in Congress, it's going to take for one of their children to get murdered or something for something to actually start happening here.
Absolutely, 100%.
The thing is that you got the Second Amendment in the United States, which is the right to bear arms, and that's big business in the U.S. And anything like that happens, it usually involves weapons that don't like that. It's the weapons are created to kill people.
Yeah, right? For sure.
Yeah,
and it's
for sure.
And it's also based on your right to bear arms. And these places where these things are happening are in areas and states that support that right to bear arms shit. And it's all the way up, right? So
these guys always be traveling to these areas where these rights are available. This guy
because he traveled to a different state. Yes, right.
But he whatever state he was in, he had the right to bear arms.
Yeah, he purchased, but they come up with all this stuff now that he has mental issues. There's many complaints made about him.
Video games,
all these things coming up after the fact. Like when you have this information, why don't you take this shit serious?
And you know what's funny? Because LB, you said video games, right? So with the white people, it's video games, mental health. With us, it's drugs. Oh, he was on drugs. He was on weed. He was on this. You know what I mean? And I'm sick and tired of fucking people sitting there, because I can say it and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And I've said it like 3 times already. If that was a black man standing in that street or did what he did to white people, he would have fucking been dead. They would not have arrested him. And people say, well, you don't know that. You don't know that. Maybe 100% I don't know that. But if you go with the fucking history about what happened to us, hands down, I could say he wouldn't have made it. Hands down. And you can't tell me nothing.
Even when they took him down, that motherfucker was armed, bro. Like, he still had his shit. But again, right? It fits a narrative. There's business behind this that we're gonna sit here and complain. We're gonna sit here and say, yo, why do these people keep going into our communities doing these things and they don't like us? Why are you going there?
Right? You know why? Yeah. Because they don't have them in their community. We're not in their communities. You know what I mean?
No,
we're not there.
No, it's deeper than that. They do it because they can.
That too.
That is the reason.
Let me add on to when you're mentioning how it's big business and the right to bear arms. Like, I feel like the First and the Second Amendment are the 2 most misinterpreted amendments, and it's probably the only 2 that most people know. But, and I mentioned this to somebody else earlier. It's like, just because the Second Amendment is there, it doesn't mean it can't be amended. Like, for some reason, people feel like it can't be changed at all. It's like, bruh, that's what the founding fathers did the Constitution and amendments for, so they can be amended with times. And it's like, I don't understand why so many people here are just so infatuated with this Second Amendment, like it's written in blood, right?
It's because they are afraid, and the history of the United States is based on fear of an enemy that may exist or doesn't exist. So you have the right to bear arms against anyone, either foreign or domestic. That's what that means, period. It's written in stone, the existence of the U.S. That's it. So as long as that's written in stone, it trumps everything. That's why these motherfuckers are able to walk around with these weapons of, I wouldn't say mass destruction, but man, come on. You know, they're not hunting animals. They're killing. They have things that kill people, not things that hunt animals. And that's based on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, I feel you. Hold on.
It's just crazy because that's the only place in the civilized world that has rules like that.
Yeah, I read earlier. I think it's the only other countries that got the Second Amendment like written into their constitution was us, Mexico, and I think it was Guatemala.
Yeah, it makes sense. And this is what we talked about, I think it was on K-Dot stream, right? LB, we're talking about like, you know, gun laws and stuff like that. And then people start thinking, well, you're not taking away our guns. And we're not saying to take away guns. If that's what you guys want, do you want, you know what I mean? But you got to make it harder to get these fucking weapons, man.
Listen, you got weapons that kill people and weapons that are used to hunt, right? Like, just like if you're doing construction, you got machines that do industrial stuff and then machines that do residential stuff. It's a simple break, but because there's money behind it, King, right? There's just so much money behind the Second Amendment because that's what funds wars.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and if you cut that in the US or make an amendment to it, now it feels like you're weak because the US is built on strength. If I can't protect myself against an enemy that's even domestic, forget about foreign, domestic. You feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah.
Paul said music, sports after slaves were freed because panic of what black culture could really do. Look at entertainment and sports today. Then Obama became president. the fear in racism all time high. Yeah, they're scared of something. And Maz said thug is another one they call us. Yeah, absolutely. They call us thug all the time. You know what I mean? I walk down the street, my hoodie on like this. You know what I mean? Going to work, but I'm a thug. You know what I mean? Oh no, look that thug. You know what I mean? It's
I'd
it's
like to
just
share a
dumb.
story with you real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
My brother and I, we went to Canadian Tire, had some things to do. On the way out, bro, you know my car, right? Remember my
Mm.
window? Remember you jacked up
Yeah,
my
yeah,
window? Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
remember?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't tell me the motherfucker didn't roll down.
Man, man, listen, I wasn't getting that deep, but man, okay, all right. I fixed the window, okay, all right. So same car. So my brother and I, we walk out. I put the key in the door, whatever. I hear, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" So I look over my shoulder and I see somebody running at me, waving their hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? I look at my brother. I look back. So now I'm thinking, all right, I might have left something at the counter, maybe. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, I'm out. The woman kept running towards me, and she was about maybe 20 feet away from me. She stopped and looked to her right and just ran that way. And when I looked, she ran to a car that wasn't the same car that I had. She had a Toyota. I have a Honda,
Mm-hmm.
and jumped in her car. This this woman thought I was stealing her car, bro.
That's crazy.
My brother, the only reason why, and Zoe, you know me already, dog. I was fitting a snap, but my brother was right next to me, and
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to figure out, yo, why is this? And he started laughing. So when he started laughing, I just had to just calm down. But can you imagine? Now,
It's crazy.
the thing about it is, what would I look like? A black man taking a car with an Asian kid in the back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you heard about that in any
You
part
know,
of Canada? In like this
it,
part of Canada.
you don't. You know what I mean?
And this
Paco
woman,
asked me. Yeah, go ahead. No,
nah,
go ahead.
nah, this woman running towards me like I'm trying to steal her shit, bro. Like I was vexed.
But you see, that's the thing. Like, you know, and anytime we do something, they always think we're up to no good and shit. That's an issue. Paco asked me if I have seen the footage of NFAC. No, I have not. But if you want to send me the tweet, you can, or send me on Twitter what it is. I'll check it out. Absolutely. Roberto, any other thoughts?
No, I'm done with this, man.
All
Done with
right, because
this.
I got another one. Now this is some shit, and LB seen it already because he was on the same stream with me. But this is some shit. I'm gonna show this shit. This is some Twitter shit. All right, this video here. So
Oh my god, I'm gonna hit my
you
camera.
seen this one?
Stop
So
it.
let's start this at the beginning. All right,
I'm
check
gonna
this out,
kick,
Roberto.
kick his ass in his chest, dog. What? What? Oh my god. I would have sent Unique out on his ass. This
You
traitor.
know what I mean?
Po-
So he have a whip, right? But hold on, that is not the end of it. So then we have this one here where the father go to confront.
bitch.
And I believe there is one more. Just let me check. I think there's one more. Yeah, there's one more.
Baby, get back. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do it. No, baby, get back.
Yeah, he ain't play that the other night. That
No, he
part.
didn't play. Yeah, he didn't play. He didn't play the third part of it. So the gun accidentally goes off. That is crazy. What do you guys think?
To me, not to sound bad or anything, but that's just petty shit, man. You know,
what's petty
yeah,
shit?
he comes, he knocks the car. I mean, I had my neighbor come and fucking take a baseball bat to my van. He had some mental issue. What could I do? What could I do? The parents came over, gave me 2 bills. It's over. This guy obviously has a problem. It's not going to get resolved. You just wait for that kid to come again, and you just do what you got to do. Call the cops. But look what it escalated to. What if that guy got shot over that fucking shit?
I agree, but I mean, he went over to explain the situation to the guy, and
I hear you.
obviously the guy went off on him. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck, bro, your kid is running. But then again, and like I said this on K-Dot stream, I said the kid is a product of what's going on in the home. So you
Yeah, of
understand
course.
if
Of
the
course.
kid's running to the house
He's
with a
got both
whoop,
his.
you know what I mean? So you learning that shit from your father or your parents or whatever.
You know, you hear your dad's talk, and you know he's backing you up.
Yeah.
I want just if you take a look at that again, right? The kid has goggles on, right? And the kid has riding goggles on with a horse whip.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it may have been a really bad idea for the kid to do it like that, right? Like, I'm just thinking, like, the kid. But again, for the father to react like the way that he did, yeah, it's indicative of, you know what I'm saying, of certain things being taught in the household that makes it right to do things like that, right? But I'm also saying from a kid perspective, right? And then you see the adult react, right? Because now the adult is embarrassed. And the easiest thing for an adult to do is, yo, get off my shit and pull your joint out. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you have the right to bear arms. And because you have the right to bear arms, you have the right to defend your property while, you know, that's it. Shit is
LB, what do you
Doesn't
flawed.
apply
think?
to everybody. Doesn't apply to everybody.
Man, I just think this kid need to get these hands that whip that he used put on him.
Facts.
like a good whipping, bruh.
Facts.
Like
100%.
I'm not saying abuse him. I'm not saying do something crazy, but just take the whip and whip him a few good times, and he'll run away to daddy, and it is what it is.
And then if daddy comes over, daddy has to get whipped too.
Yeah,
You know what I
you got
mean?
the right to bear arms. Remember?
Oh boy, what are you saying? I hear you. This one you could talk about, right?
Bro. 4 or 5 years ago, when I'm 10, 15 years ago, when there was no social media, no camera, no kind of stuff, then yeah, that might be the thing to do, to try to go over there and rationalize and talk to somebody, even though you know they might be on the racial side of the fence. But he had video footage of the whipping on the door and video footage of the whipping on the car. I would call law enforcement. That's what I would do, even as a cop. I would call law enforcement and say, look, this is what I got right here. Nzo's son, my neighbor, here is a video of him doing it. That is hard and irrefutable evidence to fight or say, well, it's your story against his. No, I got video footage of this little sucker over here doing ABC 1 2 3, and handled that way because he went over there and he know the climate that we live in now. He could have been shot and killed over
Yep, that's
something
what I said.
like
Stupid.
whipping on the door and whipping on the car. I know it's the principle of the thing, and I'm not saying little boy was right at all, and I know the daddy is probably putting all kind of crazy stuff in his head.
Emotion.
But you got to be smarter than your Caucasian counterparts in this situation because you can get the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
There was a
hey,
perfect episode on The Equalizer. The Equalizer's aunt was in a store and she was looking at a dress. White woman came in there and she wanted the dress and she started pulling on there and then she fell down and she said that the woman assaulted her. They took her side. The police came in there, took her side. But what they didn't know is that she recorded the whole thing. And when they started recording, then the other lady, the white lady, was in trouble. So you got to be smart about stuff in today's society, and we have the tools to be smart about stuff and come out on top if we use them. But you can't let emotion get you in trouble. That could have
Hey,
ended out really bad on that guy's part, but I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Donnie, is that the video you're talking about with the phone, where she thought the black man stole the phone and it was in her purse the whole time?
No, that was a different one.
No,
Oh, it's a different one you're talking about. Okay,
hey,
this
where we?
TV episode I was talking about.
Oh, got you. What were you gonna say, LB?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Danny, like, you're legit right. You're 100% right. Like, you've changed my mind. I was here thinking, okay, I can video me whipping the kid, and I can edit it with the kid showing up at my door. I can go viral. But hey, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? Like, we're in an era where you can show people indisputable evidence, and these people will still find a way to deny things.
Yeah,
It's more against the cops than it is against citizens. Well,
can I argue that real quick? And
yeah, but hold on, let's boys finish, and then you go.
All right,
go ahead.
My bad. Go ahead.
Cops have got such a bad rap now that they're losing court cases, even with video footage, because media is painting us in such a bad light and shade. And like I said to that, I gave the numbers to Nzo and Roberto. There's over 800,000 sworn police officers in the United States. You ain't telling me, I don't care what you think or say, 50% of that is bad cops. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I've been doing it for 25 years. Now I will concur and say there's 15% bad. I even go as high as 20. But you ain't telling me that half or more than half cops are bad. So you can believe what you want, but I just think that in order to fix the problem, people like us have to get inside of that particular group, like I've been doing for the past 20-something years, and try to fix it. I know a lot of cats look like me, got my same mentality, and we trying to do the right thing. I don't think that's only exclusively in the state that I live in. I think that's all over. But the media is getting that 10%, that 15%, that 20%, and showing all the negative stuff, trying to cause a divide. I know what the cat said earlier about the origination of law enforcement was slave catchers. Okay, everything may start off as one thing, but a lot of times it's something called adaptation, something called evolution. Things change. I'm not here catching no fucking slaves. That ain't happening. I come out here to trying to do what's right, whether you black, white, blue, green, male or female.
So let me ask you this. You ain't got to get too personal into your job, but like, what is your department doing exactly to change the stigma about all cops are bad in your community?
Okay, first of all, my department is very diverse. Our sheriff my boss makes sure that he comes and be as fair as possible. We go in different communities and have community functions. We try to make sure, like, the leaders of the department are very diverse. We got females, blacks, whites. In my department, I'm pretty high ranking, and we make sure that we try. If something happens, we are as transparent as possible. If something happens and it makes our department or someone or a particular member of the department may be something negative, we make sure we quickly put out a press release, ask any kind of questions, we turn over to a independent agency and let them investigate it. We never investigate our own issues and problems, because then you are tempted to be swayed to maybe cover something up. We don't do that. If something happened in there and there's an officer that needs to be investigated, we always call the outside agency.
Fair enough. Appreciate that.
I also appreciate that. So the issue that, or I wouldn't necessarily classify it as an issue, but I would say it's more of a concern, is that you wouldn't go to a restaurant if the chef doesn't know how to cook, or you wouldn't ask, um, a carpenter to do a job for you if they really didn't understand the job. And it's not a knock against you, but it's really a knock against a system, right? Because if you have law enforcement and you've got a system that it takes less than a year in order for someone to become an officer, and you're a law enforcer, some of these officers don't know the law enough to enforce it, right? And that's where we run into issues where people or certain officers don't understand the law, but based on qualified like immunity, they're able to kind of move in an area that is always going to be covered by a wall.
What do
But
you think?
again,
Yeah, go ahead. Finish up what you're saying, and I'll let Danny respond.
no, and the thing is not that I'm against law enforcement. I just think that people who are in law enforcement should know the law. You don't have to be a lawyer, but you need to know the laws that you're enforcing in order to enforce them. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm?
I hear what you're saying, and all I'm gonna say is, in every profession, you have to start somewhere. If you're a chef, you're not gonna know how to cook certain kind of things. You're gonna have to have a mentor or have someone to teach you and guide you, and you may make mistakes some of the way. Same thing with if you're in the barbering profession. You just don't get a barber school and go and cut hair. You have to have someone to teach you and train you, that kind of stuff. Law enforcement is the same thing. It's more serious than those two examples that I gave you, but we have a system put in place where we have a very seasoned officer. In fact, several seasoned officers go through the program. It's called FTO, Field Training Operation Officer. And what happens is, let's say, for instance, LB is the new officer. He would start off with Anzo and ride a few weeks. Then he would go to Roberto and ride a few weeks. Then we go to me and ride a few weeks. Then we go to you and ride a few weeks. Then he would go back to Anzo. Then Anzo would properly evaluate him to see where he has learned from the time that he start to the time he's back. And if there's any deficiencies in that training, then he go to remedial training to learn. Now, of course, in every profession, some people grasp concepts, theories, and laws and different information differently. So there are going to be some officers that are outstanding. There can be some that's subpar. There's going to be some that shouldn't be in here. We are now trying to weed out the ones that shouldn't be in here by certain practices. In my state, the law has changed tremendously. There used to be a time if you saw something and you didn't say something, there was no consequences. Now, if you see something that's crazy and you don't say something, and they find out, you get the same consequences as a guilty person. So they're trying to put things in place. There was a time when you didn't have to take a psychological exam. Now, everybody in my state, you have to take that. So they're putting things in place, but people want stuff. We in a world now where you want stuff here, here, and here. You still got to change. There's a time when you couldn't tell you officer wouldn't want a body camera or car camera. Now the ones that I know in neighboring states, in neighboring departments, they want that because that body camera and that car camera saves your ass. There's a lot of
Protects
people
it.
out here that lies and say the cops did something or try to be confrontational or push buttons because they know that cops are painted in such a negative um, way now that if that cop loses their cool, then it's a lawsuit.
The
So
point I'm trying to make is that I'm not denying anything that you're saying, and everything that you're saying is extremely positive, and I support it 1,000%. But when you ride with someone, they're not teaching you the law. You know what I'm saying? Like the law, if you're law enforcement, know the law, right? If you're riding with someone that doesn't know the law and you're law enforcement, what you're teaching them are practices and strategies to get people to potentially get themselves in situations where it benefits you. And I'm not speaking from a place where, I'm angry. I was that kid back in the day where I understood all of this. You see what I'm saying? So riding with people, I get. Having a seasoned officer with you, I get. But the most important part is that the people that you're riding with know the law so that they can teach the importance of knowing the law because you're law enforcement. And that's it.
You see, yeah, go ahead, Danny.
So I don't disagree with that, but you speaking like most of the law enforcement don't know their job, and I don't agree with that statement. There's
No, and
in every profession, there's going to be some knucklehead. There's going to be somebody that don't know what they're doing. There's going to be some. You go to a church, you see some preachers, they shouldn't have their ass in the pulpit. You're going to go to some restaurants, the chef shouldn't be in the kitchen. You're going to go to some barbershops, they should not be allowed to have shears. That's in every profession. It's just right now because our profession is so serious and it's life and death. They are painting us in such a they're putting us in this all law enforcement in the same barrel with knuckleheads that's messing up, and that's not fair.
you're right. And I'm not disputing that. However, like a mistake with someone with a gun is different than somebody that makes a mistake without one, right? It's a life and death type of thing. And if again, I'm not painting everybody with a dark brush. Trust me when I tell you, right? I appreciate everything that police do. Yeah, I get it. Y'all work hard, but again, it doesn't necessarily like it's.
So
Go ahead.
what you basically saying is weed out the bad ones, because that's what we need to do.
That's what we're trying to do. But I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm not this. Mr. Dwayne keeps saying this is the second time I've been on stream. He keep talking about cops originated as slave catchers. I feel some kind of way about that because I ain't even no fucking slave catcher. I mean,
you may not be
it
now,
may
but
have
that's
it may
what it
have
was
started
back
off that.
then.
That's where it
You
started off
know
that.
that. You already know that. It's not may. It did. Right? And that's the thing we need to talk about. It's not may.
I'm not saying anything about
It
that,
did start
but
off like that.
okay, a lot of stuff start off one way. A caterpillar starts off one way but ends up a butterfly, a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just saying that you keep harping on that, but it did start off at that. I don't deny that, but it's not that today.
Oh, okay. All right. I will agree to disagree.
So, so one question I had here, I think it was from Chillmonger that I wanted to get to real quick. He said, "How many times has the outside agency busted a cop?" I think that's a legitimate
There
question. He
are
was
plenty of
talking to you
times, bro.
then.
There are so many cops in jail now. I can't get
I
into it
mean
now, but in my
that
department now,
I'm sorry.
there is a couple that they gonna be in jail.
All right, LB, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like that. I mean, it's a good question, but at the same time, it's too hard to just figure out because I mean, there's so many police departments in this country.
Right. And there's so much things and crimes that we'll never even hear about. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what we hearing about is the stuff that's happening, to us or whatever, what they think is gonna give us the clicks.
Right.
But other than that, there's so much other like I said, the cop that came on did the Auburn Preach show, like he arrested them for fucking losing $750, right? And then lying about it, right? So there's things like that where we'll never know the reason or how many there are. But Paco said they're trying to lock up the leader of the NFAC, but this is what happens when black people stand together. And I'll have to say, yes, I know, because my sister is actually a part of that. You know what I mean? She was down there in Kentucky just a week ago with the leaders of the NAFC. She has pictures on her YouTube, on her Instagram and everything. So I completely understand that. But this was a quick video that he sent me. And I guess this was with what happened with Breonna Taylor, and the N was there, and they, you see, but this is the type of thing that they're scared of. Look at this. Look at this. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they're scared of.
Right. And all of this is the right to bear arms. And the right to not identify. Don't ask me no damn questions. Right? But these people know that.
What are you gonna say, Danny?
So you walk in your house and you see that ain't gonna cause you concern? Black, white, blue, or green, male, female?
For me personally, if I live in a situation or if I'm comfortable there, that shouldn't bother me because everybody else can do it freely. If I was somewhere else, maybe 3-4 miles away in a different community, it would be okay. Why wouldn't it be okay over there?
Okay, he was asked. Chill said I was asking after Danny mentioned he outsources the investigation, not for all police departments. I got it. Matt said, "I'm scared of anyone with a gun."
If I wake up, I don't know, and I look down the street and I see 100 people, black, white, blue, green, with automatic weapons, my sphincter is going to get a little tight. That's all I'm saying. And if yours don't, then more power to you.
And honestly, it's uncomfortable situation, but I'd probably be marching with them. I'd be like, "Yo, where we going? What's going on?"
No, but there's two things that we're gonna talk about, right? There's one being a civilian.
What up, Mike?
And two, being law enforcement. As law enforcement, you're held to a different standard, so you're not gonna. My reaction versus your reaction can't be the same reaction because of what you do. Right? So you can't say that you and I are going to react the same way. You have professional training in that area. So, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's not a knock against law enforcement, it's just a knock against reactions. When you're police, you can't be civilian and police at the same time. You can't be thinking I'm police as a civilian. Because you have something to protect yourself and other people may not, right? Because there are states, all this ownership of guns and Second Amendment, it's based on states. It's not like here in Canada where it's federal.
Right.
You can't do it across the board.
Right. Each state has their own law. Let me get this super chat real quick. Poe sent $5, $4.99. Thank you very much, Poe. Much appreciated. Said much love. Chat first, then panel. Peace. Have a good night. Have a good night, Poe.
Hey,
thanks for popping in. Always a pleasure. Something? Sure.
No, Roberto, you wake up Saturday morning and you walk out there and you just saw that clip. 100, 200 people walking with guns. You ain't gonna feel a little. You gonna get there and join them, or you gonna feel a little concerned and be like,
I'd be like, "What the fuck's going on here, yo?"
Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to
say. LB, what about you?
I got
a gun. I'm just gonna, stay inside.
Thank you. Damn.
I don't know, man. I see one of the black people marching. I'm like, hey, what are we marching? What's the cause? What are we doing?
Here's what I'm saying. It's all based on training, right? There's certain people that are going to be trained to be like, yo, I am comfortable in something like this. And there are going to be people that are going to be like, you know what? I'm going to stay inside, right?
No matter how much you've been trained, you still feel fear. You still feel apprehension. You still feel like, because sometimes you got to make split-second decisions. There's a video where I have to make a split-second decision on something that I have to do. It turned out good because I don't want to say I killed anybody. But just because you're a police officer, that means you're highly trained, but you still got those human emotions. You just got to learn how to control those human emotions. There have been plenty of calls I've been on, and I've been a little shaky, a little scared because I know what the potential could be, but I got to overcome that because I have been sworn to protect and serve and to put my life on the line where other people would run. When other people run from danger, we have to run towards the danger. But
And
you still have that fear, but you gotta rely on your training. You gotta rely on well if you got fucking heart. Some officers don't have heart. Some
I
officers
Yeah.
heart pump Kool-Aid.
I
So
appreciate that 1,000, but I don't know a firefighter that ran from fire. They always
I
go
never
in
I
because
never
of their training,
yeah, but
right?
you
Because
can't tell me they're
again,
not scared
yeah,
Absolutely, they're
or
scared.
fear. That's what I'm saying.
absolutely they're
I
scared, but
just
it's
said we
based
have to
on their training. Right? So
yeah.
I'm still gonna hold like your level of fear versus my level of fear in the same situation. There, it's gonna be different because you're trained different. So I can't hold you the same way, the way I would hold myself. You have years of training. So when you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a little apprehensive," I get it, but you're thinking about that at a different level, not where I'm thinking about it or anybody else that hasn't been trained like you or does the things that you do. So you have to understand that as well. I'm not attacking
So
you. I'm just saying it's a difference.
Well,
right, because oh, go ahead, Danny. You
I
first.
don't doubt there's a difference, but some people act like just because police officers have been trained or trained in certain techniques, skills, whatever, that it makes them perfect or impervious to fear. That's not the case. The same way some firefighters they can go into a burning building and feel totally comfortable but still cautious, and they can navigate and survive. There's some that go in there and they panic and bad things happen. Either they get themselves killed, or they get somebody else killed. That same thing applies to law enforcement. It just because you've been trained doesn't mean that the training always sticks whenever the rubber meets the road. There's some people that when the rubber meets the road, because it's a whole lot different in training. Because for instance, when you're shooting, practicing firearms, they don't moving targets. They're
Mm-hmm.
still so moving target. It may be totally different. Last time I've been in a shootout, the target moved. So if you practicing, there's some departments that practice with moving targets, but most of them they're bladed targets. You got X amount of seconds to
Standing
shoot.
still.
If a target is
Mm-hmm.
standing still, I can hit that shit all day. But sometimes
Yeah.
a target moving and somebody else and rounds are coming towards you, that's a whole different scenario. I've never been practiced with rounds coming towards me. You don't practice that.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
difference between civilian life and police life and
No,
firefighter
no
life.
doubt.
And that's the difference I'm speaking about. That's what I'm saying. So your level of fear honestly shouldn't be at the same level as my level of fear, given the certain things that you're trained in and I'm trained in. I get it. If as law enforcement, if you click and get to my level, then why are you law enforcement?
Well,
Of fear.
I hear what you're saying, but there's some people that make it through the process and they click. We don't have a crystal ball that says, okay, Dwayne's going to be a good officer, Anzo's going to be sucker. We have to go through, put them through the same paces, and then once, like I said, once the rubber meets the road, then we see, okay,
What type of man you
well,
are?
that's right. But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that could cost somebody their life. We
That's
try
what
to
I'm
put we
talking
trying to
about.
put stuff in place to weed that out.
Mm, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
But every
Yeah.
department don't have the resources like a New York Police Department or LA Police Department or Chicago, these big cities that have all this big budgets and all this kind of stuff. But you gotta do the best you can with what you have. And like I said, I agree with you that police officers that are highly trained should be more skilled and more calm and cool and collected than some, but sometimes they're not. They just ain't. And that's what we're
So
trying to read out.
absolutely. Let me get this comment real quick. Mike said, people don't act like when they're not armed. I'm sure as hell not gonna trust any of them when they're strapped. Black, white, yellow don't make no difference. And I could kind of understand that too, because you guys see Juice when Tupac got that gun, you know what I mean? He was a totally different dude.
I can't even stand that movie.
Yeah, why not, Danny?
Because I want to shoot his ass myself.
Right, because the minute he held it, and the way he held it too, when he got it, he had it like it was a baby. You know, he was rubbing it like, yeah, let me have the tool.
He's full of shit. How you gonna shoot your own boys? They're like me grabbing a gun, and this the crew right here, and I'm gonna shoot Dwayne.
Yeah, that was
No, you're not gonna do that. Don't call my name with that.
I'm just saying,
hey,
but
man,
that's some bullcrap.
Batman, come on, I don't.
No, I'm just using that as an example, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That wasn't his boys in the first place if he did that.
Facts, 100%. Andrea said, even someone is spec ops units always have fear, but they learn to control that fear in a lot of operations.
That's right, bro.
I wouldn't do good in a zombie apocalypse or doing what Danny does. I'd be taking people out because I'd be afraid of them taking me out. Yeah, I feel you. And like I said, you get that gun in your hand, bro. That's like power. Some people, like, you know what I mean? You could, like, the pussiest man put a gun in his hand. Yeah.
Let me tell you this. When I'm off duty, I really seldom carry my gun.
Yeah.
Another officer said, Danny, you stupid as hell. No, I just, because sometimes when you're off duty, that when you get yourself killed, we get your family killed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Because like I said, hey, you have it constantly, right? So you every day, that's your job, you got one, right? But you put that in someone's hand who's just getting it for the first time, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Some of these dudes be itching, be like, yo, I hope someone come romp with me today, you know.
I'm gonna tell you this now. Most officers, and this is me. They're like, and I can say this now because 27 years, but I got in law enforcement for the wrong reasons. I got in the drive fast cars, and write tickets. Now, I couldn't say that in the interview, but that was my main thing. I get these fast cars.
Hey, listen, where can I get this man a phone? Like, I gotta give him a phone for that one. Like,
but now, 27 years later, my goal is to help people and to train new officers, not to do dumb shit.
Absolutely.
That's my job.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, Danny. Like a lot of people, when they go into being a police officer, it's like, hey man, I get to carry a gun, I get to drive fast. You know what I mean? No one can tell me shit. Some people, that's the reason why they do it. You know what I mean?
My thing, boy, I will bust your ass in tickets. I don't care.
He said, let a motherfucker speed past me.
I'll tell you, I will wake up. I think I'm gonna do 20 today. I don't care if you're a woman, white, black, blue, green. I have people inside the road crying. I'm sorry, you getting this ticket. I'm sorry. I didn't care. I got used to it.
For real.
Now, man, I ain't know. Last time I write a ticket, man, you write no fucking ticket.
Parco said, I'd be more scared seeing Nazis or KKK than seeing the NFAC marching.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I got 11 minutes left, though.
Yeah, we're closing up at 12. Exactly. Roberto got to bounce out too.
I could remember when I was growing up, KK was
go ahead,
marched down my town.
Wow. Really?
I remember that.
That's crazy, man.
I went to I was in Detroit with the kids, and I went to the Ford Museum, whatever big car museum that's out there, and I turned the corner, bro, and I jumped back like 7 steps. It was like a KKK garb in a case. I still have the picture. When I find it, Zoe, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
It scared the crap out of me, bro. So
supremacist groups. Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
No.
Sorry, I was just
no. Go ahead.
Andrea says supremacist groups, doesn't matter what color of the rainbow you are. I despise all of them, and they can catch lead. Anyone with guns is a no, thank you. It's way more white militia than black. post said, "Hey, I have something to say. I have a white friend, co-worker back in Georgia. He shows me all his guns. When I moved back to Mississippi, I showed him a few guns, not all. He was like, my older cousin need gun training. I'm like, we already do. He was uneasy knowing the firearms that we have, but I was like, equal rights, right?
Hey,
He
Nzo,
placed me and my cousin in a stigma that isn't true. Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
I got two numbers for you:
Yeah.
87 and 112.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. You're saying Golden State won?
112, baby, to 87.
Yeah.
Hey,
I knew the minute you bring it up, it's because you know Golden State won. If Golden State didn't win, he wouldn't have said shit. He would have felt all hurt and shit. You know what I mean?
I would have done it. I would have done it. You just like when
You know
Pittsburgh
what?
lose, you don't talk about it.
You know what? You know what? I like this guy even more now. Let me
Danny's my boy. He's cool. LB, you got anything to say?
I don't think Dallas gonna win if they have to depend on Luka the whole series.
Motherfucker, who the fuck? Yeah, we got off of that last time. We're talking about black stuff.
Yeah. We got all this negative stuff. Why ain't you show the positive when I sent y'all?
Okay. Shit. Let me see if I can find it. You still have it?
I think I did. I sent to you and
Roberto. Yeah, because I can't get it on my PC. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it through my phone.
What's
he
that?
sent it to the positive one he sent us, Roberto.
Positive?
Roberto's like, what? Did I send us something positive?
Yeah,
the
one with
No, I remember the one with the cop that got pulled over by the cops. That was that's positive.
no, I'm talking about
No.
the white cop that helped out the drug dealer, their lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. You sent that a while ago, though.
No, I said that like 2 or 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, just gotta find it. Was it a TikTok video, Danny, or was it a
that was like
YouTube?
That was a YouTube.
Okay. I'll find out before we close up and play a nice positive one. Shit, I'm all up here. You sent it to the one with me and Roberto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got it. Hold on, let me share this. I got it.
Well, you know, last 6 minutes of the show, then you try. Oh, I tell you.
No, it wasn't even like that, Daddy. It wasn't even like that. You know me, man. I'm willing to go a little bit longer still, but you know, we got some old foots in the house that need to go to bed before. All right, let me see.
All right, now you know you in the working class now. Don't be talking all that noise.
Yo, I need to change my name, man. I got police knowing my govy, bro. I can't have that.
Well,
It's okay.
I got no power in Canada, brother.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, so I found it here. Let me go to Twitter. Pull it up. That's good timing. It's a 5-minute video, so we could talk about it for a bit, and then because we did show some negativity stuff. You know what I mean? What we're gonna do is
really.
So now I'm gonna do some positives for my boy Danny. You know what I mean? So here we go.
It was
An unlikely friendship between a cop and a man he arrested. Someone's playing music. Okay, good.
Oh, I didn't know Soledad were back on TV.
Between a police officer
Who?
and a convicted
Soledad
felon.
O'Brien.
One that has withstood a murder trial, prison time, and nearly 3 decades. Our correspondent, Jessica Gomez, has their remarkable story.
I kind of grew up in the Leave It to Beaver family, the white picket fence and everything else, and was fortunate to have great parents.
So I came from a legacy of murderers in my family, addiction, alcoholism, physical abuse, sexual abuse. You're scared all the time.
The story of Dana Marsh and Jarrell Jones begins here at an apartment complex just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, nearly 30 years ago.
I used to deal drugs right here.
Dana, then a police officer with just 1 year on the job, arrested Jarrell for disorderly conduct. The 24-year-old, a drug dealer and addict with a long rap sheet.
After that, Dana would see me on the street. I'd be selling drugs or buying drugs maybe, and he would stop the car, hit the lights, and pat me down, and then start talking to me about changing my life.
I saw something a little different in him. I can't explain it. Don't know why.
Jarrell eventually accepting the police officer's help. He left for his hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, with a bus ticket Dana bought him.
This would have been the backyard. You could come in from the backyard directly into the kitchen.
But it didn't take long for Jarrell's troubled past to catch up with him. Staying in his great-grandmother's house, today an empty lot, he had a conflict with her husband and stabbed him to death.
It was surreal. I felt like I couldn't believe I had done this. And I sat there shaking. And then I basically made a decision. I was going to turn myself in. And I called Dana and told him that I had just killed a man.
He said, I got to take accountability. This is the only thing that I can do to change my life.
Despite Dana testifying on his behalf, Jarrell was sentenced to life in prison.
He was going through a lot of remorse, but he also had realized that the only way that he could make his life worth something is helping those that were coming in that were going to be able to get back out.
Moving through prisons in 4 states, that's what Jarrell did, taking accountability classes, studying psychology, and counseling other inmates. From the outside, Dana, busy with a young family, continued to support him.
He visited, sent money, went to my hearings. Whatever he could do, he did. He treated me like a brother.
After 20 years behind bars, Jarrell's impact on others earning him his release.
Nobody had ever talked to y'all like that before?
Today, that work continues, mentoring local teenagers, teaching things like landscaping and life lessons, ones he learned the hard way.
When I say accountability, what comes to your mind? I tell them that they can be a promise of their environment instead of a product.
Words are spirit and words are life.
Jarrell's promise, helping neighborhoods like the one in which he grew up heal. His work as a community leader now attracting the attention of Birmingham's top cops and prosecutors. And always there, his friend Dana Marsh.
Yep, we know we'll have a bar right here.
Absolutely.
The former Georgia cop now markets law enforcement equipment. His world still very different from Jarrell's.
There's times that I'll make a statement, Jarrell, instead of saying, well, that's stupid. Instead, he'd say, well, let's walk through this a little bit, and then help me to have a different perspective, be able to see through his eyes.
2 sets of eyes, they say, but 1 heart. Nearly 3 decades later. What would you tell a young police officer who might be encountering the same situation today?
You got to have compassion. If we don't, things won't change.
We learned that from each other then. Yeah, because his compassion towards me translated to my compassion towards others. Father, we thank you for the food we're about to receive. I was a violent criminal. And to think that, that this is what redemption looks like, sitting at the table with the actual police officer that arrested you. Miracles are real. And so, toast to miracles.
Glad to call you my friend.
Thank you.
Sir.
In Fayetteville, Georgia, for matter of fact, I'm Jessica Gomez.
See, no, that's a good story. You know what I mean? It's definitely a good story. And this is what I'm saying. You need more people like that. You need more people like that. Sorry, my shit popped up. You need more people like that, because when you put people in prison, it's really not to reform them. You know what I mean? And that's what prison is for, is to reform people. But if you have someone like that that's there to help you out, and it's great. It's a great feeling, man.
See,
Roberto,
they don't
yeah,
show
go ahead,
that.
Danny.
They show all the negative.
Absolutely
stuff.
not.
The negative stuff sells. That's one story, but how many negative cop stories we've seen? 10 or 15 to that one.
Absolutely. There's a lot of stories. I remember, I think me and you were talking about it. Remember the white woman, she called the cops on the black kids outside playing basketball in the street, and the cop came and ended up playing basketball with them, and then the next day brought Shaq over there.
Yep.
Because that happens rarely. Those shootings happen more often.
Really?
Daddy, took you that long to react? That was a shot, Daddy. That was a shot.
That's why I said, really?
But it took you a while. We heard crickets and Nzo was debating it.
Yeah, it was. It was. Because I'm like, but yeah, it is what it is. But man,
pick up my little one, yo.
Yeah, it's a great show. We're gonna close it up just now. I'm gonna let you guys run through the panel.
Let me go first. I got to bounce.
Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
Hey, this is Danny, aka Comment Chat. Thank y'all. I couldn't speak too much on this topic, but it's a topic that need to be had with all parties involved, all walks of life, only together, and with conversation, with dialogue, you're gonna solve this. But I definitely think we can solve this. So, as always, man, it's always good hanging out with y'all. I appreciate it.
Word.
Absolutely, always a pleasure that you came in here. LB, shout out your channel, sir.
Peace, y'all, fellas. I gotta go.
Peace. Yeah, peace, Danny.
Yeah, another good time. Good time talking realness on here. Appreciate y'all. My channel's called The Lonely Banter. I talk about anything I want, but if you enjoy topics like what was talked tonight, I do talk about that. So check me out if you haven't. Appreciate everybody.
Absolutely.
Check them out, peeps. Go check them out.
Absolutely. I watch his videos all the time, man. LB has some. Hey, man, you do your videos good, man. I wish I could do videos like that because I try to do videos and it takes me forever. I just give the fuck up. I'm like, fuck it.
Never give up, bruh.
Yeah, I know. I like the live stream more than anything, though. Roberto, you're up, my brother.
Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock. Saturdays, 4:30. You can find me with the boys doing our thing. Just come check us, yo. Respect to the commentary. Love you.
Absolutely. Everybody that came in here, Poe, Mads Mama Bear, Andrea, Mike was in the house. Who else? K-Dot was in the house. Chillmonger was in the house. Dropshot was in the house. Parco was in the house. JG was in the house. Tim Christ was in the house. Triple X was in the house. Big Brell. All you guys. Caleb, man, always respect the support you guys give. Make sure you support everybody else that was on the channel too as well. Triple X, if I didn't say you, thank you. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. I'm running up and down to see if I got anything to everybody. Tony Robinson, Damia Khan Scott, if I pronounced that right, Basel, Drop Shop, like I said, thank you guys, much appreciated, man. It's always fun doing this shit with you guys and doing it for you guys, and I'm glad you guys come and watch us all the time, and you like what we do over here. But with that being said, we will see you next week. Pretty sure it'll be another banger. Hopefully we have some other cop stuff to talk about, but if not, we can find something else to talk about, you know what I mean? With that being said, peace, love, and hair grease. See you on the next one, and I will make sure to play the outro and not the intro. Peace.